Today we're going to discuss reincarnation. There's a question in the manual on this subject, and it's a question that people raise from time to time, actually right from the beginning of the course's publication. As Jesus explains in the manual, since time is an illusion, and we're not even here, whether we're here once or 100 times basically is irrelevant. Nonetheless, he says, if you find the concept useful, then that's its own justification. So the Course doesn't take a position on it officially, although there are many passages throughout the Course which strongly suggest that this is not the first time we've been here, nor is it the last. In discussion of the last obstacle to peace, when we're standing before the final veil, the fear of God, Jesus says we stand before it either to pass through the veil, which means that we're done and we accept the atonement for ourselves, or to wander off only to come this way again. Again, strongly suggests that whatever we don't complete in this lifetime, we would have to do another lifetime. The Course says more than once that if you practice this Course, we would save 1,000 years. Well, obviously, Jesus can't be talking about one lifetime. Right at the beginning of the text, when Jesus discusses the miracle, he talks about how the miracle saves us time, right? That it collapses time and saves us time. That something that might have taken a long period of time, a problem to undo, we could undo in 1 minute, in one instant, or one could even say one lifetime. The point again, of course, is that it doesn't really matter because we're talking about an illusion anyway. There's no life outside of heaven, Jesus tells us in chapter 23. Life is only in heaven. So how many lifetimes we have outside of heaven really is totally irrelevant since there's no life anyway. Right? But we live here as bodies, and bodies do have experiences, and bodies do have concepts. And again, as Jesus says in that a section in the Teacher's Manual, if you find the concept helpful, by all means use it. Now, what can be helpful, especially if you think of the idea of past lives, is that you could be in a relationship that is very problematic, someone you meet for the first time and there's instant hate, and you don't know where it's coming from. Sometimes it can be helpful to have the idea, well, this is probably not the first time I've been with this person. Now, it doesn't make any difference in terms of what you have to do with the problem, because you still have to forgive, whether this is many lifetimes worth of forgiveness or something you have to do right now. It doesn't make any difference, because salvation is only right now, when a decision-making mind that exists outside of time and space chooses the right teacher, chooses forgiveness, and lets go of the grievance. But within our experiences here, it can be helpful for some people to understand that there's a context for this relationship. Just as it can be helpful for people as adults to have some kind of therapy which helps them get in touch with some experiences in their past in this lifetime as children, which establishes a context for some of the problems they're experiencing now. It still does not mean that healing comes in undoing the past. It can't undo a past that never happened and is no longer there. It still has to be done in the present. But it can help establish a context. Oh, this is why I have trouble with men, because I had an abusive father, I had an abusive teacher, I had an abusive brother, and this is why I keep projecting the same problem. So it gives a context which can be helpful to me intellectually. Right? But once you reach that, to then say, well, my problems are because I was abused as a child, or my problems date back from when I was in ancient Egypt, and I'm simply reliving that same moment over and over again. The fact of the matter is, I choose salvation right now. So that reincarnation can be helpful up to a certain point, if intellectually you find that as a compatible idea for you. But it makes no difference whether you believe in it or not for salvation, because regardless, once again, whether my problem dates from 5 minutes ago, 50 years ago, or 500 years ago, I still have to make the choice in the present to let go of my grievances, which means I recognize the investment I have in holding on to the grievance. That is what's most important. So whether I'm carrying this grievance for millennia, or for decades, or for 2 minutes, once again, is irrelevant. What I need to know is right now, it behooves me as an ego to hold on to this grievance, to hold on to this perception I've been unfairly treated, so I could I can escape all responsibility for my dis-ease and disquiet. Namely, it's not my fault that I'm feeling this way. I'm not the one who abandoned love, who pushed love away, rejected love, or sinned against it. Other people have done so. And I use my memory, again, whether it's a memory of something that happened yesterday, again, some early point in my life, or many lifetimes ago, I use my memory as a justification for how terrible I'm feeling now. And so it's recognizing the lie inherent in all that comes when I choose the right teacher who points that out to me, that allows me to realize I'm making a decision right now to push love away by choosing the ego, and I could correct that right now by choosing the teacher of love. At that point, not only does my recent past disappear, but all my past lives disappear too. They all disappear in that holy instant of choosing the teacher of forgiveness rather than the teacher of attack.